Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's Formula 2 division. This is time for round 12 of the season. We are heading to the French Grand Prix at the Circuit pour Ricard, and joining me, that's Webbo, by the way. Hello, everybody. I'm sure you know my voice by now, but this is Webbo. And joining me in the commentary booth, we'll have a guest co-commentator, and that is the championship contender for the last two seasons in the F1 division. We have Max joining us for his home race. Good evening, Max.
Good evening, Webbo. Good evening, everyone. Really pleased to be with you and to commentate this race in my home country, hometown, because I lived there, like quite close to the track actually for some time. So yeah, I know the track well.
Fantastic. It's great to have a little bit of French flavour at the French Grand Prix as well. So brilliant to have you here to talk us through everything from a driver's perspective. This league is brought to you by Nailcut Hall and in partnership with Grid Finder and Driver 61. Leading our championship going into round 12 is the Russian driver Ivan Baloff in the AlphaTauri, who has been win or bust all season long. He's on a run of 4 consecutive wins. The big question, can he make it 5 in a row? He's got 7 wins to his name and no other scores for the entirety of the season. So 105 points he's collected so far. Ginger Tiger is second in the championship with a more consistent performance overall. Just 1 DNF to his name, and he has scored or podiumed every other race on 101 points. And then we have Cool 132 in third place on 80 points, just 3 ahead of Smoke. And then we've got Nitric Ash on 61, Office Red on 54, then Simon Palmer, Joe Hamster, Tadelli, and Mr. Steen, your top 10 in the championship. And in the constructor standing, despite a poor showing in the previous race, Alfa Romeo continue to lead on 134 points, and we have a joint second place, Aston Martin and AlphaTauri on 122. Then we have a joint fourth place, McLaren and Ferrari on 89 each. We have, I believe, Max, we should be expecting dry conditions tonight. I've just been informed by Smoke, but with a 17% chance of rain apparently. So there is a small chance that we might see some rain here in the south of France.
Is it 17 or 70?
17, 17.
Yeah, well, yeah, nice. 17. Well, yeah, no. I think we had 22% yesterday night. So I think, yeah, we will not see any rain tonight. But I mean, the track is good for different battles. We saw that yesterday as well. So I think even if it's going to be dry all the way, I think we are going to have a nice race. I hope so.
Well, we have Keza. I'm on board with Keza right now. Max, perhaps you could take us through a lap on board this Circuit pour Ricard.
Yeah, sure. So this first corner is really tricky. We saw yesterday. It's called the S de la Verrerie, really famous corner. Then we go to the Virage de l'Hôtel. So this right, and then really left, really tricky. Keza is going really fast, and I'm not that fast with my English. So I'm really sorry. But we are going, yes, Virage de la Sainte-Baume right here, and then go to the straight, which is called the Ligne droite du Mistral, and then brake really hard on that part. You can mount a bit on the curb in order to get some time. Then on the right you have to be gentle with the throttle ready in order to have then a good exit and to continue on the other straight. And you go to Courbe de Cygne on the right, and then the Double Droite du Bossé, which is a really tricky corner as well, when you can lose the car if you are not that careful. Then another tricky left, when you could also lose the car, and then a final different succession of corner, a left, then a right, and it's really important here, called Virage du Pont, to have a good exit in order to finish your lap time, and we will see what Keza is capable of doing. Yeah, in 1:30.759, which is not bad for first lap.
No, good to get a safe banker in. Ginger Tiger crosses the line on a 129.9, just a 129, just in there. And Ben Roberts, just behind him, is on a 130.3. Last night, Max, we saw a 128.7, I believe, and I think you yourself got a 128.9, was it, overall, in qualifying? Exactly. So that's the benchmarks they will be going for. Kuipers on a 130.4, returning from his holiday and no longer using the Burmeister setup. Kuipers getting into third place at the moment, and Joe Hamster a 30.771, and Rusman splits the middle of the pack in a 130.677. Nitrogash is out on medium tyres. Tirac has gone for mediums as well, and that will give a bit of an advantage, Max, for strategy in the race if you can start this race on the medium tyre.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to start on the medium yesterday. I was doing the first stint on the medium because I truly think that starting on the medium can give you a real advantage for the race. In France, you have a lot of different possibilities. You can start on the soft, then do with the hard tires. It's a common strategy, but you can start with the medium and do the hard as well, or you can do the soft and then the medium. So it's really open.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can get a good qualifying lap with the medium, it should be worth it, really, because you can follow the guy with the soft tires in the beginning, and having the advantage towards the end of the race.
Exactly. The soft tyres do churn up pretty quickly, and we saw in last night's F1 race that the soft tyres did seem to go off around lap 6 to 7. Ivan Baloff comes into the pits. He doesn't like this lap on the medium tyres, didn't want to go for another one. So championship leader into the pits, not able to set a quick banker lap. I think Smoke might be going for another one. Seems to be screaming down towards Virage de l'Hôtel pretty quickly. So I think he might be on a lap here into Ducamp, the right-hander, followed by the never-ending, seemingly, Sam Bohm corner, and out onto the Mistral straight once again. Let's see what his first sector gives us as an indicator. Well, we'll have to wait for the second sector now, in fact. But heading down then, I believe this is Chicane du Nord, Max, this middle chicane here. But it's not really the north end of the circuit. It's a bit unusual.
Yes, you know your classics really well.
He catches a small toe off the Aston Martin on the second part of the Mistral straight into Sagna. Now, Sagna is a very fast, flat-out right-hander, unless there's something wrong with the car or the grip levels, right? So you sometimes might have to lift as the soft tyres fade.
Yes, exactly, and you could lose the car actually if you are not that careful with a tire that really used. So yeah, you have to be careful, especially when you are following someone during the race. It's an easy place to lose the car and to crash at high speed.
So medium tyres for Smoke. What kind of time will he get on the board? It's a 1:31.0. Puts him ahead of Simon Palmer on the softs. And before the race, Simon Palmer is tending to give me some little inside chats before each race. Gives me a little message on Discord to let me know how his preparations are going. The last two races he's been very confident, and it hasn't actually worked out very well. This race, he's not feeling too good about it. So I wonder if it'll be a reverse of fortune for the Mercedes driver. Simon Palmer perhaps might be on for a better race than he expects, but he certainly wasn't happy with his preparations so far. This is a track, Max, you really have to get into the right groove, and it's we would say in England that this is a bit of a Marmite track. I'm not sure what the French equivalent of a Marmite track would be. Something that you love or hate, but never in between.
Yeah, well, actually, I love that track, and it's not because it's the French one, but I really enjoy driving there. And plus, all the drivers have to know that a late safety car can happen. We saw that yesterday, so nothing is lost until you reach the finish line. But yeah, I think for Smoke, for example, I think he should go for the softs because I think he's going for another lap actually.
Okay.
But yeah, he has to be careful not to. If he wants to start on the medium, it's P5, so it's a good improvement for him.
Good work then. We've got Office Red, and Office Red and Cool 132 have these fantastically low-key races where they just end up at the top of the points between them usually, and that's how they're on top of the championship. They are tremendously consistent. They tend to race without scoring track limit penalties, and that was also last night a huge deal for the drivers. It's so tricky around here with these vast open track limits with no real penalty for running off track. It really invites you to push too hard, really, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly. You can really try to be on the limit on this track. You can try to mount on top curves, not to cut some corners, but at least trying to. You can really gain some track, some track position and lap time by doing that. So yes, normally you don't go over 3 or 6 seconds with penalties.
So Ivan Baloff is into the final sector now. It's all about being able to control the car as you're turning, whether that's braking or accelerating. It's fiendishly difficult, this final sector. You need a good downforce setup, but of course every crank of downforce you add to the car makes you vulnerable down the Mistral straight twice over around here, and down the start-finish straight as well. Gets it into the final corner, the Virage du Pont, and away then to the line for our championship leader, a 28. Is it a 29? It's a 29.582. A new provisional pole position by nearly half a second from Ginger Tiger's time. Now we know, Max, in F2 that Ivan Baloff is nailed on for a potential promotion if the game were to remain the same. But of course, next time round, next season in IRL, it's going to be the new game. So it's really going to be a reset button, like perhaps the like of which we haven't seen before in terms of handling characteristics.
Yeah, it will be really interesting next season to see how the drivers can cope with this new regulation and this new car. But that's for sure that Ivan Baloff has definitely earned his place to the F1 division for next year. I really want to compete with him. So we'll see. Of course, he has the championship to win, Ginger Tiger as well. So I'm sure he's fully focused on his season in F2 for now.
Definitely, yeah. When he's on it, he's really on it, Ivan Baloff. Ben Roberts has been setting a good sector in the middle of this circuit. He goes up to P4 though, so looks like perhaps the car not quite there in the third sector, but fourth place is a nice place to start the race at 29.8. So far though, the F2 drivers some distance away from the F1 drivers, which you would expect, Max. You can't necessarily expect them to be putting in identical times. But actually that gap is surprising me a little bit. It's almost a second away from F1.
Well, no, actually I think it's quite close because apart from myself and Jam, we were in 28.7, 28.9.
Yeah.
All the other drivers were in 29. So of course it's a bit behind, but actually I'm quite surprised with the lap times because it's quite good for the top 4.
That's a good point. Very good point. Simon Palmer says that the lobby is messed up and we need to restart it because he's stuck on auto gears. But I can't imagine anybody else would have that issue, otherwise they'd all be screaming about it. So we may end up with a problem here. And he leaves a similar note in the live chat, which is good for one sense, because I was going to ask our audience to drop a note in the live chat or drop a like on the video, make sure that my stream is working properly, because I can't see anything. Simon Palmer is stuck in the pits, but that might just be a Simon Palmer problem rather than a lobby problem, it seems, at the moment. Have you seen that before, Max, having a driver stuck in the pits like this?
No, absolutely not. So I can't. I can't say anything on this. Of course, with this game, you can always have several issues we don't really understand. But yeah, what a shame for him. He's stuck in the pits. It's really weird. At least he's in P11, so he will have free choice of tires. So at least he's got that.
That's a good bright side perspective from you, Max. As Smoke has managed to get himself a quarter of a second faster than he's gone before through Sector 1. Smoke's the only driver really on a lap. We've got everybody on soft tyres, everyone having to double down on the soft tyre option for this run at least. And into Chicane du Nord goes Smoke.
Yeah, Smoke is trying finally with the soft because I think he realized that P9 it's a bit too far behind because you can be in the middle of some crash in the first lap, so it's always easier to start in the front, even if you have soft tires, which are maybe not as good as the medium tire for the first part of the race.
Well, Tirac has managed to sneak up into P2. I didn't catch his lap, unfortunately, and Smoke comes into the pits. So Tirac has got right up there onto the front row of the grid with 3 minutes to go. It's about time for those final runs. Or last night, tell me, Max. Last night, we got to about 3 minutes to the end of qualifying, and Jaume hadn't shown up yet. Were you thinking? Yeah. Were you thinking he was not going to show up, and then were upset when he did, or what was the situation?
No, because I don't believe him anymore. You know, when you say like I'm not going to show up, and then he show up at the last minute and he's for pole position. But I was really frustrated yesterday night because there was 3 minutes left. I just had time to do another qualifying lap. And then I got stuck in the pit because Pit Queen was exceeding the pit or something like that, and I lost about 25 or 30 seconds, and it was too late for me, just a matter of seconds. But I was like, maybe I could have tried to go for that 1:28.7 that he scored on his first attempt, which was really impressive.
Yeah, it was definitely a highlight. It was fashionably late showing up and then putting the car on pole in the first attempt. It was quite something. I was wondering what was going through your mind there in the pits. Well, we've got the final runs on their way. I think Tirac is going to be first to take the plunge. Ivan Baloff will be next on track, I think, possibly with Nitro behind him, in between them. But here comes Tirac bidding for pole then. I'll go through his first sector, and we'll see how it compares to Ivan's and to, I think it's Rusman who's on his second lap on the tyres. So Rusman's going for a second one. Oh dear, Tirac won't go any quicker. That was a problem for the front row sitting Ferrari driver. Ivan Baloff, how does his first sector look? He's looking pretty quick at the moment. We'll get an update between the next two corners. And he's quicker still, 1/10 higher than he was the last time round. Getting a slingshot out. And the track now, Max, is it your favourite time for track grip levels?
Yeah, of course, it's always the best. So, but you have extra pressure. So he's in the lead. So yeah, he's quite ahead, 1/10 ahead of his lifetime. He can secure this pole position. I guess. Well, Jinga actually is on a good lap as well. 2/10 ahead.
Fantastic. I will. We'll ride with Ivan shortly, but let's see what Ginger Tiger's second lap looks like. It's second sector. It's a quarter of a second faster, and that puts him within range of Ivan's lap time at the moment. But if you are Ivan Baloff at the moment, you are going full send, throwing everything at it because you've already got that pole position, got no pressure on you whatsoever, and you're just planting the foot on the throttle and hoping that the car sticks. Away to the line then, Ivan Baloff. Can he beat his previous time? Oh, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
That's really impressive. Like 29.2, I think he would have been like P4 or something like that in F1, so really impressive.
Absolutely. Well, Ginger Tiger trying to get himself on the front row, giving himself the best opportunity to start this race. What does he manage to get? There he goes. Splits the difference between Ivan and Tirac. Great lap. Ben Roberts is quite a way back on track, but in fourth position. So the Aston Martin's second and fourth at the moment. Ginger Tiger would love to have Ben Roberts into P3 with him, or even beating Ivan, but that might be a little bit out of reach at the moment. Kuipers is driving quickly as well. He's half a second faster than he's been before through this corner, through sector 1 at least. So let's see, where is Ben Roberts? He's coming through Sanya at the moment. He's got a Ferrari up ahead.
It's not the best second sector for Ben Roberts, but we'll see for in the last sector. It's going to be tough to reach P3.
Wow, very wide into Virage de la Tour. Oh, and very squirrely on the way out. That looked like the restart we saw after the safety car from last night for the Williams driver, wasn't it? That was very rough on the way out. No one going any quicker. Everyone's crossed the line now, and I'm afraid it is normal service resumed at the front of the French Grand Prix. It's Ivan Baloff on pole position by 3.5 tenths of a second from Tirac, though, who gets up onto the front row very nicely indeed. Ginger Tiger still bidding for this championship. He's only a few points back. He's in third place, but he did get Ben Roberts alongside him. Tirac managed to get quicker, although that seems like a possible glitch, but Tirac must have put that lap in on the second time round.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't see it coming, so I don't know. And the problem is that I think it was his second lap on this on this set of tires. And with the soft, we know that the tire wear is crazy, so it can be quite a disadvantage at the beginning of the race. So yeah, he has to be careful with that.
We've got Joe Hamster in sixth, the constructors leading Alfa Romeos in 7th and 8th, in a good place for their usual race pace to prevail. But we'll take you through the grid order very shortly, and then we'll have our customary break between sessions. It's Ivan Baloff on top once again at 29.202. Then Tirac in second, Ginger Tiger and Ben Roberts on row 2. Keza and Joe Hamster, followed by Cool 132 and Office Red. Kuipers and Smoke make out the top 10. It looks like Smoke got his fastest lap done on the medium tyre, so he'll have a small strategic advantage there. But a free choice of tyres will go to Rusman, Simon Palmer and Nitrogash, and hopefully Simon Palmer can rejoin the session. He had to leave due to a glitch, and he's coming back. Hopefully we will see him back for the race. Frustrating for qualifying for Simon Palmer, but the points are paid in the race, and anything can happen in our Invictus Racing League, Max. You can have a poor start, a good start, a safety car, all manner of things that can affect a race. So it's always worth keeping your motivation up.
Exactly. Even if you are far behind, you can always hope for a safety car. So that's why you shouldn't rage quit. But actually, it's really interesting from Smoke, because even if he was only P10, he decided to stay on the medium and not to try another lap with the soft tires. So it really means that he doesn't want to be on the soft at all at the beginning of the race, and I truly think it can be quite an advantage. Because obviously he will be really fast toward the end of the race, and so yeah, it's quite interesting for him.
I think by the look of the comment he's left in the live chat, it looks like that was an accident and he didn't quite manage it. So I think it wasn't intentional. But if you are going to end up 10th, probably a good job that you're on the medium tyres. And Burmeister asks if you remember France last year. Now, I can't remember the significance of the previous season, whether he means season 13 or he means one of the seasons from earlier in the year. But do you understand what he's talking about there?
Well, no. I think he's talking about last season at Invictus. But we raced in France. I think it was race 3 or 4, so it was in the beginning of the season. I remember that it was quite a fun race for me because I had a lot of overtakes or something like that. Maybe I had some kind of I don't know, incident with Burr.
Well, maybe he'll jog your memory and remind you exactly what it was that went down. But you're going to have to provide a little bit more information there. We haven't heard much from our non-driving audience, but if you are watching, do let us know who you're cheering on and your predictions for the race, your podium predictions. You can enter them now, and we'll see who is proved to be the most correct. It's a brave person to make predictions, but Max, have you got any feeling out there apart from Ivan Baloff winning? Shall we say?
No, you know, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go with Ginger Tiger in P1, Ivan Baloff in P2, and then the other Aston Martin P3. No, Smoke P3 actually, with his different tire strategy. I think he's got the pace to be well up in the front of the grid in the end of the race.
Fantastic. Well, I think it was Ginger Tiger in the driver chat earlier who congratulated. No, it was Joe Hamster who congratulated Ivan for winning the race already. So he was hoping to put a jinx on him. Not the best qualifying for McLaren. Nitro and Rusman 11th and 13th. And we know a little bit about Simon Palmer's struggles. I think he's in the car. I think he's managed to rejoin us, thankfully. Smoking 10th. All those 4 drivers will start on medium tyres, and then comes the fastest drivers. We've got Kuipers, Office Red, and Cool 132 starting alongside each other. Always a tricky thing, especially with a chicane to start the race, starting alongside your teammate. Joe Hamster, the only Red Bull in the field, and Keza up in 5th. Then we have an all Aston Martin and all green second row, Ginger Tiger and Ben Roberts, hoping to continue their good teamwork and move them up further in the race. And Burmeister predicting a Kuipers P1, as I'm sure he would certainly not be popular at the family picnic if he didn't. But he also says that he and you fought for P3 in the last part of the race previous season.
Yeah, I remember. Now I remember. It was quite a long time ago, so.
Absolutely. We've all been racing a lot since then, so it's easy to slip the mind. Maybe you're going to have to. Maybe Burr is reminding you because he triumphed. I'm not sure, but I'm sure he'll.
I think I won our battle. Now that I remember.
So 20.
The start people, drivers have to be really careful. Unlike F1 drivers yesterday, it was absolutely mayhem for the first 2 corners. So it's going to be action, that's for sure. The S de la Verrerie, it's really tricky, especially when you have so many cars in the first lap, in the first corners.
Agreed. So Max will watch from further back on the grid than I'm watching on the stream. We'll try and get as much action on the channel as possible. Might have a little bit of a review from Max, but another thank you to our sponsors, Nail Cut Hall, for providing everything we need to go racing today, as well as our partners Gridfinder.com and Driver61. We're underway. Under starters orders, everyone is just about assembled on the grid for our French Grand Prix. 27 laps of the Circuit Paul Ricard, and the lights are on already. We're about to get racing. A long hold, and it's go at the front. Ivan Baloff getting a good launch. Tirac following him along, and Ginger Tiger trying to get right up there into the mix of the P2 position. Ben Roberts going for it, and it looks like we've got some action further back. I'll just hang with the front for now, but someone spearing across the track. Was that smoke? Or was that? It was smoke. I saw a red flash. Everybody else line astern going into the final part of this first sector. But Max, did you catch anything? What happened to Smoke?
No. So Smoke is fine. It's between Russman and Simon Palmer, the Mercedes and McLaren. They corrected each other and went straight in the wall. It's actually quite surprising. There is no, I think, retirement, maybe some damages for Simon Palmer, unfortunately.
So a bad qualifying turns into a bad start for Simon Palmer. It can only get better. Hopefully he can fix or continue without any too much in the way of repairs. 13 cars started the race. We're halfway through and 13 cars continue, although Simon Palmer's just got a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. I wonder if this is a calculated move to get himself back on terms and back into the pits. We will have to wait and see, but it's obviously not working out well for Simon. He'll be hoping for a safety car at some point shortly. Just up one place went Ginger Tiger, down one Tirac, up one for Joe Hamster, down one for Keza, and then it was as you were all the way to the rear of the field. Simon Palmer moving down, Rusman moving down, and Nitrogash making it. But here comes Ben Roberts on the back of Tirac, looking very lively on the way through, but he's just completely stalled that overspeed after the slipstream. Couldn't get an overlap down the start-finish straight, and it looks like Simon Palmer has retired the correct way in the pits. But yeah, sad to say, Max, we've lost our first driver already.
Yes. But he didn't want to wait for the safety car. It's quite understandable. Ginger Tiger, he needs to stay under 1 second. I know it's going to be quite challenging, but if he manages to do that with the DRS, he can really stay close to Ivan Baloff, and actually he's doing quite a good job.
Keza's got a problem. Keza, has he crashed out? He's stationary on track. Oh, he's turning the car around. It looks like he's managed to keep the car running at least, but absolute nightmare. It's Hockenheim memories for Mercedes here, with both cars in the bottom two, one out of the race and one struggling around with potential damage. Crazy stuff. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Ginger Tiger staying within that DRS window, and that's exactly where he needs to be.
Yes. Actually, only 6 tenths. It's really good from him.
Very good. Yeah.
DRS will be available next lap. So yeah, he has done the job.
I wonder how much he has. I wonder how much ERS he has spent to stay there, because we know Ivan Baloff likes to preserve his ERS, and you'll know another driver who's very similar to that. But Ginger Tiger staying with him at the moment. Let's have a quick look at the telemetry. Ginger Tiger 60% and Ivan Baloff 90%. So it is a difference, but Ginger Tiger will hopefully now be able to reduce that usage by making use of the DRS. Keza struggling back. He's on the start-finish line. He appears to be with the group, but we've got a DRS train in the top 11 drivers now, Max. This is going to be quite an amazing Grand Prix if it stays this way.
This is amazing for now, because all the drivers have DRS, apart from Office Red in 7th position, and he's going to be overtaken by few pairs.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he's just split that DRS. So Cool 132 up into 6th place. Managed to get Kuipers there, and going quickly at the moment. Kuipers on a purple middle sector as well. Ben Roberts has slipped out slightly from DRS, so we might have a couple of breaks in the train, which will help things to get a little bit interesting. Ginger Tiger hanging on 0.8 of a second behind Ivan Baloff. Then we've got Tirac and Ben Roberts, Joe Hamster, Cool 132, Kuipers and Office Red, all on soft tyres and waiting for that pit stop opportunity to come to them, but it will have to come in soon. So lap 7 or 8, I'm expecting the first drivers to come in on those soft tyres. Max, are you in favour of trying to stretch for a 1-stop, or should you just double down on a 2-stop all the way?
No, I think 2-stop strategy is too risky. You should go for 1-stop, and I think that the right strategy is to stop at lap 6 and to put hard tires, because you can have the undercut, and you will have the advantage toward the end of the race compared to the people who choose the medium tires. So yes, Ginger Tiger, if he stays under 1 second, he will have the opportunity to get the undercut on Ivan Baloff. So yeah, it's actually really close right now. With Tirac Rash. I'm trying to learn how to pronounce.
He said, I think he's told us it's Tirac before.
Tirac, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a confusing one. Unfortunately, we have a few of them like that in Invictus Racing League. I've had to learn. I was certain that Jaume would have been pronounced Haum when it's Portuguese, the language, but he told us no, it's Jaume. So we've got one of Joe Hamster's not really fans joining us to say it's raining bits of Joe Hamster's car at the moment, but I haven't seen anything drastic. They just like to come in and remind Joe and keep him humble, I think, is the aim of the game for Joe's mates here.
Yeah, Joe Hamster is a bit under pressure right now. With Cool, he's trying to do the overtake now. And yeah, he's going for it, but he has to be careful with the long straight after that, because Joe will have the DRS.
But Cool 132, I think he might have some French in him. His name is Christophe, and I think he's either French or Belgian, and I can't quite remember. So my apologies to Cool 132. If he is French, then he'll have the home crowd behind him. So
we like Belgian drivers as well. So.
Fantastic.
And yeah, Drumster he's going in the front as well. So that's why you should wait for the long straight, I think, in order to overtake, because otherwise, if you do that in the first corner, you will be vulnerable for the next long straight.
Ginger Tiger might be going for it here. He's waving around in the back of Ivan Beloff's mirrors. Ginger Tiger with some tremendous pace, kind of catching Ivan Beloff a little bit unawares going into Sanya. You saw a response from Ivan, which you don't often see. He's usually very, very cool under pressure. So I think he's starting to feel it. And Tirac has caught up as well. So we've got a top four battle here. Ivan Beloff not having this all his own way. Let's have another quick look at the telemetry side of things. He has been forced to use all of 15% of his battery. So Ginger Tiger is definitely putting the pressure on lap 6.
Yeah, I don't know if the Aston Martin are in party or something like that, but I think Ben Roberts should try something and to pit earlier in order to put Ivan Beloff under pressure, and then it will allow Ginger Tiger to maybe to extend that stint. But there is really something to undertake. Yeah.
Oh, Tirac! There's a problem for Tirac. That is so easily done, Max. It looks really sloppy on the way through the Virage de la Saint-Baume, but it is so hard to control the traction coming out of that.
Yeah, what a shame, really easy to lose the car here. What a shame for him, because he was right in the middle of the battle of the front. So yeah, and Ginger Tiger actually is really close.
He's so good through Chicane du Nord. He's monstering that chicane and getting right on terms with Ivan with the second load of slipstream on the way into Sanya. He's going to have to be careful going over the track limits like that on the inside. You can easily get a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Very, very difficult. Joe Hamster, though, closing back on Cool 132 in the final sector of lap 6. But this is the time where the tyres are really starting to feel the pain, Max, this lap.
Exactly. Drivers are going to start struggling with these tyres. For sure, the one, and Kuipers actually is the first one to pit. So I think it's a good strategy to pit that early.
So Simon Palmer is understandably quite annoyed about his start and lobby issues he's had, but he was claiming there that the game reset Tirac to track. Now, I didn't see that on my screen. I have to admit, I probably cut away slightly early to Ginger Tiger's move, but I don't know if you caught Tirac suddenly resetting to track or not.
No, for me, he has done the right thing. No automatic reset on the track, if that was the question. So no problem from my side. Okay.
Ginger Tiger closing up under DRS. He could really do with a second DRS zone down the second part of the Mistral straight. He won't get one. He'll have to make do with a slipstream. Not quite as good through the chicane this time, but this is the point, Max, where Aston Martin need to play the team game and bring one of their drivers in, right?
Exactly. Whether Ginger Tiger or Ben Roberts, because if Ginger Tiger is going to the pits now, for sure he will have the undercut, so he should, I think, really think about it.
Yeah, so pit to pass potentially would be the instruction, and in he comes. Doing exactly as you suggest, making sure to get the car down into the pit lane speed. Now Ben Roberts will have the opportunity to try and put the pressure on Ivan, keep him moving around, keep keep his attention in his mirrors, but perhaps he's a little bit too far away. They've got a move coming on for what is now third place, potentially Joe Hamster getting super close to the back of Cool 132, but perhaps Max just waiting for the better opportunity.
Yeah, and we have some fights between Russman and Smoke as well with the same strategy. So yeah, it was really close between them. And yeah, Jinga Tiger has gone for the hard tires, and I think it's the right call. So we'll see what even Baloff will do. I'm pretty sure he's going to pit straight away.
Yeah, so it's time to really put the hammer down for Ginger Tiger. He's got a clear track in front of him. He's got the opportunity here to light up the timing screens and really go for it, but he doesn't have the help of any DRS from anybody else. I'm not sure how much help it would be with traffic and everything, so a clear track is about as much as you could possibly wish for. Ben Roberts is 2.5 seconds behind Ivan Baloff now, so he absolutely needs to pit regardless of what happens here to Ivan Baloff, but Joe Hamster cannot catch Cool 132 either. Will Ivan pit, I wonder, on this lap to defend from the undercut? He does not. He is stretching this stint, and Ben comes in. Now Ben has a chance here, Max, to try and get an undercut on Ivan.
Yeah, as well. This is really strange from Ivan. I'm pretty sure now it's pretty clear he's going to stop for medium tires in order to have tire advantage with Giga Tiger, but I think he will struggle in the end of the race, so it's really interesting.
Yeah, so if we run green flag conditions to the end of this race, you've got to say Aston Martin are in a great place here. They've gone one car on the hards, one car on the mediums, and Ginger Tiger has got past his teammate and gapped him significantly with that undercut. So I'm fully expecting Ginger Tiger to be able to get Ivan on the pit stop, but potentially with Ben Roberts, Max, putting the mediums on, he could well be in the same position.
Yeah, it was really a nice move from Aston Martin, because with medium tires, Ben Roberts really have a chance to do the undercut as well to Ivan. I think Aston Martin will have a problem now because Ben Roberts obviously will be quicker than Jingle Tiger.
Yeah.
So I reckon there will be maybe some instruction from Aston Martin.
Well, we'll see. I think it's Mike Crack who will be calling the shots in the Aston Martin team at the moment. That always makes Lightning laugh when I say that guy's name. So it makes me think of Lightning whenever someone talks about Mike Crack.
Even on the pit. Yes. You know the danger. Yes.
Into the pits comes Joe Hamster. Nitro stays out because he started on the medium tyres. Ivan comes in, Cool 132. That is all our soft runners now coming in at the end of lap 8. And then it is party time for the medium runners here. They will enjoy the best of those medium tyres now for a good another 4 or 5 laps and be able to be clearing away. But my focus has to be on Ginger Tiger, who has already passed Ivan Baloff on pit exit. What about Ben Roberts? Will he have the chance? Oh! Wow, Ivan Baloff monstering that pit exit. Incredible stuff.
Wow, I don't know how he manages really to not to be ahead despite the fact that Jingle Tigers had his pit stop 2 laps ago. It's crazy. Wow, what laps from Ivan Baloff in order to stay ahead. That is crazy, and now he definitely has got the advantage.
You can see Joe Hamster moving to one side, potentially letting his teammate by on the better tyres to go after Ivan Baloff. That will be the instruction now. Get on with it and try and distract Ivan Baloff while Ginger Tiger puts in the laps and uses the DRS behind his teammate. Saves the DRS for later in the race, but I called that completely wrong. I had thought that that was battle over. I thought Ginger Tiger had the lead, but Ivan Baloff, what an in-lap he must have had there. I wonder, do you think he was deliberately slowing the pace down so that he still had a good lap of tyre life left in him, almost tricking the Aston Martins in? No?
I don't think so, but it's not over yet for the Aston Martin boys, because if Ben Roberts stays under the 1 second, he will have the DRS, and maybe Jinga Tigers can stay close to that battle in front of him. So yeah, it's not lost for now for Aston Martin, but wow, this is really intense in driving. That's really fun to watch.
New fastest lap from Ben Roberts. He's on fire right now, loving the medium tyres. It's a great feeling, Max, when you've been struggling on soft tyres and you put on a new set of mediums and suddenly you feel like the track is wider than it was before, and you can plant the throttle down. It's so much more comfortable to race like this.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the impression to have a totally different car. It's really crazy, the difference between like both tires. It's really amazing.
Well, Ben Roberts is drawing very close indeed to Ivan Baloff now, as predicted. Ivan will be deliberately trying to bring those medium tyres in gently, I feel. He's going to definitely be going for a one-stop, but Ben Roberts has the option here to try and get ahead of him and then either slow the pace or go for a two-stop down into the Bose. They both go side by side. Oh, and a little touch, it looks like. A little touch. It looks like Ben Roberts was turned round, and there we go. It came to blows, unfortunately. Ginger Tiger's wingman demoted down the order. And
what a shame.
A big shame, yeah. Did you have any opinion on who was right in that position?
Yeah, there was no touch. Ben Roberts tried to avoid touching Ivan Baloff, and the problem that he mounted on that curb, and then he just lost the car when he put the throttle. So really a shame. He tried everything to stay in range of Ivan Baloff, and now it's going to be much more complicated for the Aston Martin boys.
Definitely, it's not going to plan at all. Ben Roberts has managed to rescue the car, though. He's only 3 seconds behind his teammate, so I would have thought he'll be able to get it up in the order from there. I'm going to switch focus a little bit while the gaps have opened up between the leaders and the leaders after pitting, presumably. Cool 132 and Joe Hamster looking at each other very closely once again. We've got a few penalties on the board. Joe Hamster's picked up one at least. I'll go and have a look at that and see where the penalties lie at the moment. 3 seconds each for the drivers marked, except for Rusman, who has a 5-second penalty. So nothing too dramatic, but it's starting to play into their minds, Max, that they need to stay within those track limits.
Yeah, if you have already 3 seconds and it's not even the end of the first part of the race, you have to be really careful, because you can afford to maybe have 6-second penalties, but not more than that. Otherwise, your race will be ruined in case of a safety car, for example.
Yeah. Nitro in the pits. He's put on hard tyres, running the medium hard option. That promotes Ivan Baloff up to second place, 6.4 seconds away from smoke. This is about the point that the mediums are starting to drop off, but that's a little ahead of schedule, I thought, perhaps from Nitro.
Yeah, but since he's going for the hard tyres, I mean, he can go early, and because obviously the hard tyres will last until the end of the race quite easily. So yeah, I think lap 13 is a good lap to pit if you are on the medium. I reckon Smoke will do that as well this lap. Yeah,
that's a good shout. Kuipers gets another penalty. He's down in 11th place at the moment. We'll have a look. Once Smoker's pitted, we'll have a look at where the positions have changed so far. But Cool 132 can't quite get the overlap done on Joe Hamster on the way into Chicane du Nord, and then we'll presumably have to wait until at least the start-finish straight for another run. How about Tirac, though, mixing it up there at the front of the grid at the start of the race? He's made it back up to P9. He's half a second off Nitro's car on new hard tyres that'll be cold and slippery at the moment, so perhaps Tirac will be able to get another place here before the hard tyres get up to temperature. Might be going for a two-stopper though, because Keza, Kuipers all stop pretty early.
Yes. I think he's going for a two-stop with the last stint on the soft. Actually, I'm watching closely Joe Hamster and Cool. It's crazy because those two drivers are battling each other since the first lap of the race. Yep. it's crazy. They really have the same pace, same strategy, And I'm quite surprised as well. Well, there's a yellow flag.
Yeah, Keza has retired in the pits, so he's not able to continue. I'm not quite sure what happened to Keza, but that is race run for the entire Mercedes team. Unfortunately, we've lost them both.
We've got going early home. Yeah,
we've got a lot of nice, a lot of messages from our audience today. We passed 50 a few minutes ago, but unfortunately quite a few of those are from Simon Palmer, unimpressed with the way that things have gone for him tonight, and I can understand the frustration. Unfortunately, it does appear from our perspective at least that the problems have only been affecting him, so we can't restart a lobby for just one driver. We've had no further comments from anybody else to affect the fact that it could be a wider problem beyond just him, but we do sympathise. It is so heartbreaking, Max, when something out of your control just steals your whole week's preparations.
Yeah, of course. I experienced that in Imola 2 weeks ago. You train, and then for me it was like first lap, first corner, and yeah, end of the race straight away. Really frustrating, but there's nothing you can do. So yeah, just to focus on the next race, really.
Exactly.
Quite impressed with Jinga Tiger because he's not losing that much time behind Ivan Baloff.
Finally, Cool 132 makes the move down into turn 1, and he's got back ahead of Joe Hamster, runs a little bit wide, and he does run wide out of that Este la Valerie, which we've seen many times already, but Joe will be back on his heels. Sorry, carry on about Ginger Tiger, Max.
No, yeah. So we will see in the end of the race, because obviously Jinga Tiger is going to have a tire advantage. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. And Cool and Joe Hamster, they are catching, I think, Ben Roberts for P4 as well. And we have to look after Smoke as well, because he didn't pit yet. And he will be really strong in the end of the race. Maybe he's going for a soft stint in the end. It will be interesting.
Great, very late move from Nitro on Office Red, gets the job done. A little tiny touch, but no harm, no foul. Tirac trying to take advantage of Office Red's compromise run through Chicane du Nord, gets up the inside into Sanya, and is on the offensive on the back of Nitro. Just when Nitro looked like he was going to have trouble coming from Tirac, he makes the move. It looks like Office Red run out of room on the outside of the track there. Just saw him exiting to the outside of the turn, and there we go. He's dropped down 3 places in the space of a single sector. Smoke has picked up a penalty, but is still not pitted, and Ivan Baloff is catching him hand over fist now at this stage. Obviously 15 laps into the medium run, that is a long way to run the race. Ginger Tiger's just going to be hoping that Ivan Baloff has to pit again here.
Well, I don't think Ivan Baloff is going to pit again, but that's for sure. Smoke is going for a last stint on the soft. It will be really, really interesting. See what he can do with this strategy. And yeah, Ben Roberts had 3 seconds penalty, and it's not going to be easy for him, because all the drivers around him, apart from Joe Hamster, don't have any penalties. So. Yeah.
What's your view then, Max? I'm always interested to hear a driver's perspective. When there's someone on track in amongst a battle who's got, let's say, 2 or 3 penalties on the board, should they still be fighting just as hard with everybody, or should they be a little bit more timid and allow people who've been driving clean to continue their race without their intervention?
Well, I've got to admit that if I am in the position when I have no penalties, and then in front of me I have a guy who has a 6-second penalty, for example, and he's fighting me, I will be a bit frustrated, that's for sure. But it will be too easy to just let all the drivers go through because they have no penalties. It's racing after all, and you can always collect several penalties afterwards. Right. So I think you should fight. Really, it's a game. It's funnier that way.
Yeah. Difficult to treat one driver different from another one, I suppose. Ivan Baloff should get the move done on this trip down the Chicane du Nord. Keza lets us know, and it's very sporting of him to say this, but he's not feeling very well and decided to call it quits in the pits to feel better. Here comes Ivan Baloff past smoke, and that's the retake for the lead we've been expecting for a few laps, but good to catch it on camera. So get well soon to Keza from all of us. Hopefully be bounced back and fit and ready to go next week. We've only got 3 races to go now in the championship after this one, Max. And any highlights for you? I know that the French Grand Prix should have been a big highlight for you, but any favourites for the tracks to come?
I really like Hungary. I don't like that track that much. I think I'm really fast. I don't know why, but yeah, I won several races, on this track in different leagues in the past. So yeah, I think it's maybe not. And Smoke is going for the pit. I think it's not the track where you will have the most intense battle, for example. But yeah, I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rents, who's a very regular viewer with us, he asks you, Max, how much practice do you put in regularly? Now, we were talking just before we came on air about this, but go ahead, if you're willing to share that information, how much practice do you put in?
Sure, I have no problem at all. So first, I will say I do a 30 minutes time trial. In order to select my setup, etc. Then I will do one mock race. Can I say that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a fake race, like GP offline, where I can assess the different strategies. And then I always train 1 hour before the race actually begins. I can do that because in France it's 9 p.m. the race, so I have time to get back to my place and to train a bit, at least 1 hour before that, and that's it.
Wow. So a good routine, but not quite what Jean was talking about last night. I think he was 6 or 7 hours total seat time through the race yesterday, preparation, plus another team league race he was doing just beforehand, which happened to be in France, which I'm sure helped him no end. We just watched Joe Hamster pass Cool 132, so the Red Bulls ahead again into 4th position on the road. We'll have a quick look at penalties, and it's 3 seconds each, except for Rusman, who's now got 8. And in terms of position change, Nitro has gone up 7 places so far this race, Rusman up 4, and then just a handful of places throughout the grid. Tirac, of course, with that accident coming out of the Virage de la Sambum,
yes.
Sambum. I always get that wrong. It's just too many consonants for someone who speaks English. It's too many vowels, I should say. It gets the job done there.
What's my last fun?
Okay, he is back running on my screen, but yeah, not going to plan for Rusman. He's obviously collecting penalties, a little bit like we see Simply 90 in F1 at the moment.
And Jenga Tiger is starting to gain some time on Ivan Baloff. It's only 2 tenths per lap, 1 tenth, so it might not be enough, but he's still has got something to play.
Absolutely. We've got Cool 132 still on the back of Joe Hamster. I don't want to give them exclusive TV time tonight, but they are being the most entertaining drivers on track, I have to say. So they are where the action is at. In fact, Cool 132 looking down the inside into the Bendor left-hander, and Joe very much on the defensive lines, losing time here to the cars in front. Joe just being heavily defensive, using the middle of the track, but it will Cool 132 get past him once more down this start-finish straight. He's very close. He's less than a quarter of a second behind, which is usually the right kind of range. Joe defends to the inside. Cool 132 easily round the outside. A little wiggle on the car on the way into the first corner, and gets the job done in a great overtake. Joe coming back.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Oh, and a little touch on the rear left of Joe's car. Joe was significantly ahead though, and it really Cool 132 just timed his turn in slightly wrong, but he'll have a good run down the Mistral straight, Max.
Yeah, he's a bit too far behind. I hope he doesn't have any wing damage because those last turns seem pretty weird to me, quite oversteer. So yeah, I don't know. Seems to struggle a bit, and it's a fight for podium position because Ben Roberts got some time penalty as well. So he needs to finally succeed in overtaking Joe Hamster in order to stay within 3 seconds of Ben Roberts in order to get that P3.
Yeah, good catch. We are 20 laps deep. They've got 7 to go for the leader. Ivan Baloff leads this race by 3 seconds at this stage on fading mediums. Ginger Tiger will have hard tyres for another race after this one. I think they last so long. Then Ben Roberts is in 3rd place on similar strategy to Ivan Baloff. We've got Joe Hamster, Cool 132, Nitro, Office Red, Rusman, Kuipers, Smoke and Tirak left in the race in that order. Tirak is nearly 13 seconds back, but do stay with us because all is not over until the checkered flag falls, because as we saw last night, we had a safety car with 3 laps to go. You never know, Max, when tyres start to fade, when people's focus starts to affect them towards the end of a race, that's when you tend to get the most mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. We saw yesterday, I think it was Simply 90 who spun out in the lap 24, and I was quite surprised to see the safety car went out. I thought the game, if there was only 3 laps remaining, that the safety car had no chance to go out, but actually it did so. Yeah, you never know. There's still 7 laps to go. And Cool is going for it in the end.
He runs slightly wide, doesn't he, through Chicane du Nord. It didn't quite work out that time. I think there might have been a tiny touch, but nothing serious or deliberate. Cool 132 didn't quite get that one right, and that looked like tyres struggling to hold on, Max.
Yeah, and that's a shame for him because he's only got 19% of ERS actually, so he went for it, but I think he braked a little bit too late, and that's why he didn't succeed in passing Joe Hamster. And Ben Roberts is extending that gap, so for now Cool is out of the podium position.
Yeah, exactly. Ivan Beloff's gap to Ginger Tiger has now dipped below that 3-second window. So it's definitely still on to the end of this race. Ginger has a chance here to have better pace at the end of the race. This was always going to be the case with that strategy decision. It was always going to be in the last 2 or 3 laps where we'd have the best tyres. I was surprised, honestly, to not see Ivan Beloff pit for hard tyres just to cover Ginger Tiger's strategy. Max, is that something that you would consider doing, to change your strategy mid-race, or are you usually well practiced and you've got your mind made up?
Well, I think even Baloff might have been quite surprised to be still ahead of Ginger Tiger. I think he went for the medium because he wanted to, and Cool is, I'm sorry, we can have like a nice chat with these two. They're always fighting each other. But Cool that time he has succeeded in overtake Joe Hamster, so we'll see what he can do for now. Or am I talking too fast?
No, it's all good. It's all good. You're right. We have to time our comments to about 1 minute 30 seconds only in between overtake attempts here from Joe Hamster and Cool 132 into Chicane du Nord. Joe Hamster is right around the outside. I can't remember the French word for hamster, Max.
For hamster?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's hamster as well.
Is it really? Okay. Fantastic. So Joe Hamster or Joe Amster, he gets past again using the DRS down the start-finish straight, and these two just continue to battle. I bet they're having an absolutely fantastic time out there.
Yeah, it stays. There is no crash, no contact between those two drivers. So really fun to watch. Ginger Tiger is gaining actually currently 2 or 3 tenths per lap.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really close. I don't know if like the tire of Ivan Baloff can last until the end. I think it can, but it's going to be tricky. I'm quite sure he's under pressure right now.
Yeah. We will see if he's just drawing Ginger Tiger in, just like he did before the pit stop, only to blast away in the last one, in the last lap, just as he did with his in lap on the soft tyre. But Ivan making it work tonight so far. But we do feel like the pressure is building. 2.3 seconds now at the front. We'll continue watching the drivers who are very close and within DRS range for now, but rest assured we are keeping our eye on that gap at the front of the race. Ben Roberts is drawing a little bit closer as well. He's making those medium tyres last pretty well. They're a lap older than Ivan Baloff's, and his lap times are looking good at the moment, Max.
Yeah, it's really a shame that he made this slight mistake, because he would have been fighting with Evan Baloff, and it would have benefited for Ginger Tiger, his teammate. So of course they are P2 and P3. It's really good, but they could have really fought for the victory here. It's not lost, but yeah, it's looking more and more complicated.
Well, we have 3 to go now. Again, Cool 132 and Joe very close to each other. 2.3 seconds the gap at the front between Ginger Tiger and Ivan Baloff. Ben Roberts 3 seconds behind them in third place with a penalty at the moment. Here comes Cool 132 for, I think, the 14th time taking an overtake on Joe Hamster. There we go, into Chicane du Nord once again. Joe draws alongside. They split the track down the middle pretty much, and they'll go side by side. Joe's got the advantage here on the inside into Sanya. That looked a little bit on the aggressive side, maybe a slight glitch from Joe, but he's got the inside line going into Sanya, and there we go, gets the overlap. Does he quite? Because Cool had a good run, and Joe will hang him out to dry, but Cool round the outside. Will they give enough for him? Tremendous stuff. Cool 132 holding on. He might get the inside line, and they're so close. What fantastic racing. That was Villeneuve-Peroni for me.
This is really nice. I mean, it's Villeneuve-Peroni for 24 laps. Crazy.
That was really, really good racing from both of them. I really hope that it finishes clean like this. Cool 132 gets a good drive out of the final corner. He hasn't quite made the move usually going into the first corner. Will he make it now? I think he's waiting, Max, for the next run, but it's a challenge to stay with the car in front through this first sector.
Yeah, and we saw that even if he's waiting for ligne droite du Mistral, it's not enough, because Joe has nice defense and he's doing the job. Of course, he's got this penalty, so for Cool it's not that important if he finally gets the overtake done, but yeah, it's always funnier for him to be with Joe all along.
Joe goes to the inside. He leaves the door open on the inside though. Tries to sweep across. Oh no, they've made contact. They've made contact. That was probably my fault. But Nitro sneaks up as well. Nitro trying to get the move done. Cool needs to be careful not to get a corner cutting rejoining the track in that particular direction, but Cool drops down. I don't know if that was anything more than a racing incident, Max.
Well, I don't know. The thing for sure, they cannot say that they didn't know how to brake on that corner, because they are doing that for 25 laps. But yeah, and the thing is that Cool has lost P4, but as well P5 and maybe P7, because Mock is with soft tires just behind. Well, he's got 3 seconds time penalty, so he should be fine. But yeah, I think Ginger Tiger he accepted the fact that he will not go for the win tonight. What an impress!
Oh, he certainly won't now. Yeah. And there he goes, picks up his first penalty of the race on the penultimate lap. That's a shame for Ginger Tiger. When we've talked to him at the end of races, he's usually given up on the win and is just trying to get the second place points. He's weaving. I think he knows he's on screen at the moment, trying to keep heat in those hard tyres. But it does look like the attack that we've been waiting for isn't going to come unless Ivan's tyres drop off the cliff dramatically in this next lap and a half. Looks like Ginger Tiger might have to settle for second place. A good second place nonetheless, though. He has driven very well today. Smoke gets past Cool 132 on track, but as Max pointed out, he has a penalty to his name. Although on those soft tyres, maybe he'll be able to start putting the gap on He'll get DRS from Nitro shortly as well.
I think Cupers got a puncture, and that's why he decided to pit in the last lap. So,
wow.
And I think he was. I don't want to call the wrong thing for Ivan Baloff, but yeah, you should be careful with the medium tires. In the end, should be okay, but yeah, I think Cupers got a puncture.
Well, Smoker's got the fastest lap at the moment, but perhaps Kuipers will go for it. On fresh softs here on the final lap. He's only got one shot at it. Looks like Ivan Baloff he's heading through the first sector of the final lap. He's 3.3 seconds ahead now. He's building the gap, but perhaps, Max, he should be easing off on those tyres and not risking a puncture. If we may have already seen one from Kuipers, we will see. Ginger Tiger getting further away here from Ivan Baloff on this final lap. But it's been a tremendously entertaining race, not least because of Joe Hamster and Cool 132's battle all the way through. Sadly, it did end in contact. I suppose it was inevitable when they raced close together for so long. Smoke might get Nitro here on the final lap. He's going to go for it down the inside into Chicane du Nord, and Smoke up to P5 on the road at least, but he's got drivers behind him without penalties, so that might be difficult for him.
Yeah, what a race from Ivan Baloff. He was under pressure, but he managed his tire really well. So, what a victory for him. Another one.
Yeah. So Ivan Baloff through the final corner. He's been nicknamed Mr. Win or Bust in the championship, and it continues. That's 5 wins on the trot for Ivan Baloff, a total of 8 so far in a 12-race championship. Ginger Tiger second, and Ben Roberts crosses the line to get 3rd place on the line at least before penalties are awarded. I think he'll hold on to it. Joe Hamster crosses the line in 4th place, and Smoke is bettered by... Oh, Nitro got that 4th, and so did Cool 132. Got Joe in the end, and perhaps that's that's right after all, after the contact. Cool 132 beat Joe Hamster by 0.3 of a second to get 5th place. Smoke in 7th, Rusman in 8th place. Tirak hard fought back to 9th, but heartbreak because he was right up there on the front row after qualifying, and just a momentary lapse with the throttle application coming out of the Virage de la Saint-Baume. And then we have Office Red in 10th, Kuipers in 11th, crosses the line right about now. Fastest lap, I think, stayed with Smoke, but I'll get confirmation on that. Great action, though.
Yeah, what a race! I really enjoyed it. Good race from the Aston Martin boys as well, and with Cool and Joe, and the story is crazy because he was 6 seconds behind and he still finished ahead for 3/10.
Yeah, tremendous stuff. Michael in the live chat says Nitrogash classic race. It was a good one, and he got driver of the day as well. Did you have a different driver of the day today, Max?
It's really a tricky question as always, but I don't want to give it to Ivan Baloff because he's won enough.
Yeah.
But I will go with Cool because
awesome.
he stayed cool. Yes.
I've been completely stupid. Cool is for Swiss. Of course I knew Cool was Swiss. Ivan Baloff wins the race then on a one-stop strategy, very different to what we saw last night. He wins the race, and Ginger Tiger from Ben Roberts on the podium. We'll hope to talk to them shortly, and in fact Ginger Tiger already on his way. Nitrogash, Cool, Joe Hamster, Smoke with the fastest lap, Rusman, Tirak, Office Red, Kuipers, and then our retired Mercedes driver Keza and Simon Palmer. Max, if you can stick around, I'd love to hear your driver's perspective questions of the podium sitters. But if you have to go, that's perfectly understandable. I will of course give the first comment to Ivan if he can join us, and then we'll be hoping to speak also to our 3rd place driver. Remind me, Max, who was 3rd? It was Ben.
It was Ben Roberts.
It was Ben.
Yeah, he wrote that he don't have
no problem.
doesn't have a headset, so You
Well,
can talk.
while our leading two drivers managed to just check their audio settings, their party audio settings are set to share, I will just give one more thank you to our sponsors, Nailcut Hall, and to our partners, gridfinder.com and Driver61. But I'm very pleased to say I'm joined by our championship leading and 5 consecutive race winning Ivan Baloff. Hi, Ivan.
Hi guys.
That sounded like a tired hi. Ivan, how was that race for you?
It wasn't an easy race, but it was a race under control, I would say. But a little bit nervous on the start and on the finish when I saw that Ginger just started to push our gap, but yeah, I'm very happy.
Fantastic! Congratulations, Max. Have you got? We've got Max joining us, who is one of the championship contenders in F1. Ivan, Max, have you got any questions for Ivan?
Yeah, Ivan, like congratulations first for this amazing victory. I was wondering, did you expect to be in front of Giga Tiger after your first pit stop? Because Giga Tiger pitted like 2 laps before, and still you managed to stay ahead, and I think that paved the way to victory for you.
Yeah, that was a critical moment for me, and I didn't expect that he will pit and that he will drive on softs, hards. And when I saw that he was going to the pit, I just said to myself, I have to push now as hell. And I used a lot of ERS, and I did a good job, I think, to be first on the exit.
Yeah, it was a very good race from you. Absolutely, we enjoyed watching what we could watch, but that lap after the Aston Martins had pitted that Max was talking about looked. I was suspicious, Ivan, that you were maybe tricking them into an early pit stop because you knew you had the tyre life left for a monster in lap. Was that the case, or was it just amazing pace overall?
I just managed my tires well and had a really good pace. Even yesterday I planned to do one stop, softs, mediums, and it works here.
Yeah, and how close to punctures were you? We thought perhaps Kuiper's on the same strategy had suffered a puncture, but were you close? Are you willing to talk about that?
I just watched before my pit stop, and I had 66 persons in my front left.
Yep.
And the other tires were a little bit better.
Tremendous. Well, great tyre management, and congratulations once again. That's win number 8, I make it, on the road, and well on your way to trying to take care of this championship. We've got a next race. I believe we're heading to China. I always enjoy watching races in China. We tend to get good racing. How does it go for you?
Oh, I can't say the same. I'm afraid a little bit about China. I don't like that speed S section, and we will see. I'll try, but we will see.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be on form, but maybe for the sake of the championship, it needs to be a different winner on top. But that's not your problem, that's everyone else's. So congratulations, Ivan. Well done. We're joined also by Ginger Tiger in the press conference. Ginger, you were straight here to have a chat, and we thank you for that, absolutely. But it looked like it was difficult to match Ivan's pace today at the end of the second sector.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew he had high downforce in the car because on the softs I was catching him, and I was just quite comfortable sitting there. and I thought I'll go in for hards. To be honest, I thought he would go for hards because I know it's touch and go on the mediums. And I made a mistake straight after my pit exit on turn 2. I lost it and I nearly spun the car, and that's where I lost the time to not get ahead of him after he pitted. I was a bit disappointed actually. Not as disappointed as I was to get the 3 seconds though on the penultimate lap. And I thought then there's no point, because I saw the time coming down and down, and I thought he will come to me on the mediums.
Yeah.
And I was quite comfortable with that. And then I got the 3 seconds. I thought, oh well, there's no point me even bothering pushing now. So.
Well, you did let us down a little bit. I have to say, we were cheering on a last 2-lap battle to come. So we were left a little bit deflated, Max.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was nice race from you. Really, you kept even under pressure all race along. And I had a question because obviously your teammate Ben Roberts has done a fantastic race as well. I was wondering if you were in conversation with him during the race, and then you decide to go for the hard tires and him for the medium tires in order to try something different in order to go for Ivan.
No, we didn't have a conversation about any strategies, but our agreement is if anybody's quicker than the other one, to let them by. So I knew he was on the mediums, and I thought, well, I'll let him pass, because I knew he could harass Ivan, and unfortunately he span. So I was hoping when I got there it was Ivan, but it wasn't.
I think Ivan would have had different race had he had both of you to battle with, one on the same strategy, one on a different strategy. So Ben's spin almost kind of let him off a little bit.
Yeah, I was at the end of the day. I thought I'll let him go. He can drag me to Ivan, and then he can disrupt Ivan at the same time. I just thought the mediums would come to me. I was very surprised. I did see it last night. There's a couple of drivers, I think. Oh no, they had a safety car. But there's a couple of drivers that went all the way on mediums apart from the last couple of laps. I was quite surprised they went that long.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to risk it. Hards it was, and they did a good enough job. They were consistent, so.
Well,
that was it.
I think the strategy was sound, but I think amazing tyre management from Ivan was the way it fell. We saw just 1 stops for the majority of the field today, compared with the 2 stopping, although safety car interrupted race from F1 yesterday. I wonder what will happen in the next few races of the week. We've got obviously F3 tomorrow. We've got the PC League, and then on Thursday many of these F2 drivers will be back for the Realistic Performance League. Max, it's been fantastic having you and a French voice as well in the French Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed it, and you might like to come back one day.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, and of course I would be really pleased to commentate all the races with you, and have a last word for Ivan and Ginga Tigers. Guys, we are waiting for you next year in F1, so be prepared.
Fantastic. Yeah. So a warm welcome will be given from Max, at least in F1 next time. But we have the small matter of the season ending 3 races to go. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to like the video. If you've subscribed to the channel, you won't miss one of our races to come. Of course, F2 will be same time next week. F1 same time on Monday with myself and hopefully Lightning this time. But yeah, from everyone at Invictus Racing League, a big thank you to everyone watching at home and commenting and doing all the liking the video and all of that stuff. It really helps us. But from all of us here involved on tonight's broadcast, thank you very much, and we will catch you on the next race day.